Okay, part two of the interview with Bryan Tuk, founder of Allentown Jazz Fest. Now, this Brian actually must have been reading my mind at the end of part one, because part two I was going to start with, as far as with, especially with this being a new festival, how the festival is planned on attracting the true jazz fans of jazz. The people like myself who really never listened to the genre, and also, since this area is, Lehigh Valley is pretty much a huge college town, also, the younger generation, and to a point, you answered that with, talking about, some of the different acts that are going to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, without giving away any of the upcoming surprises, any other ways that you could say now that would attract, basically go for the widest possible audience?
Well, when we were selecting our weekend lineup is how we're going to start referring to that group.
Okay.
Al Chez, Jojo Meyer, and Oz Noy. Their following tends to be, I would say, 50 and under for the most part.
Okay.
So when our Facebook audience crossed a certain threshold, we were able to go into a lot of the demographics that Facebook makes available to you.
Right.
I think it's once you cross 1,000 fans, you get to see, gender, age, rough geographic location, and all of that kind of stuff. So, and as it turned out, our fan base is about 25% New York City metro area, 25% Philly and suburbs, and then the rest of it is the Lehigh Valley. And for the most part, I would say about 75% of that group is 50 and under. And I think that's in large part because of the artists that we've signed. So I think that we're trying to, again, push the art form forward in some different ways that people may not expect.
Okay.
And what I'd love to have happen is people, to get to that week and not know exactly what they're going to see, but come down anyway and check it out.
If nothing else, out of curiosity.
Right. And I think everybody's going to be really, really pleasantly surprised by what we have. We have a couple of tricks up our sleeves, and we'll let everybody in on that.
That's always a good thing.
Yep.
That is always, that is definitely always a good thing. Now, depending on the first year for anything new, especially here in the Lehigh Valley, unless it revolves around alcohol consumption, there's a lot of breweries in the area.
There are that.
But, depending on how the first year goes, is this pretty much planned on, as far as, okay, this is a once and done festival, or is the ideal to do it annually?
We're already talking about 2016.
Okay,
so,
good.
Yeah, I think maybe 3 or 4 or 5 months ago we weren't sure, just because never been done before, and what shape will this finally take? What kind of support are we going to get?
Mm-hmm.
And as we've gone further and further, the reception we've received from fans, from people following us on social media, from the business community, from the mayor's office, from other arts institutions, really validated what we were, our thought process, and we're now fairly sure that we're going to be a fixture in the springtime, going for a lot of years going forward.
Okay, good. Now I will say one thing: it ended up being almost a perfect weekend for a festival here in Lehigh Valley, because things are already starting to pick up. It's, I originally planned like everybody knew from my magazine, okay, back off, make a lot of changes the first 3 months. And all of a sudden it's like last weekend I had the flu and I missed like 4 events, So things, March things start picking up, and it's May is almost the ideal time because you're kind of after Easter and everything's slowly starting to pick up.
Yeah.
The weather's warm, but you're also not into Memorial Day weekend.
Right.
When once Memorial Day weekend hits, actually about 2 weeks before Memorial Day weekend, this area goes from like zero to exploding with a lot of events.
Part of the calculation was that we wanted to stay within the academic year because there will be high school, jazz bands participating in this
Okay.
thing, and that will be something that we'll get into when the plan is on that piece is finalized. So we couldn't. That really gave us some constraints. You didn't want to go too late into May because kids are getting ready for finals and band programs are winding down and all of that kind of thing. And we, May 1, 2, and 3 was about as early in the calendar year as we could operationally pull this thing off and deal with that. When do the high schools, kind of
Right.
slow down in terms of off-site activities. So there were a lot of calculate. The availability of Miller Symphony Hall, academic school year, what other events in the Valley are happening at that
Yeah.
time of year. You need to pick a hole in the schedule so you're not competing against something that's established. You don't want to make it. We have enough challenges as it is. We don't need to. Create some on top of that.
And
So,
speaking from covering the area since I started the blog for over 3 years now, from Memorial Day to Labor Day, good luck finding that hole. You have about roughly a 2-week downtime, and then all of a sudden, and then October comes in, and then from about late September to January 1st, forget it.
yeah.
So this area is tough to find a gap.
Yeah. So second half of April, first half of May. That's really our window.
Okay.
So,
Well, now for probably the hardest question.
okay.
If you had to give people 2 or 3 reasons, main reasons, and I'm talking from, anybody from, people local here in the area who might be, diehard rockers like myself, families, to people New York and Philadelphia. A couple of the best reasons why to come to Allentown Jazz Fest in your own words.
In my own words. Okay. Well.
I don't make things easy.
No. I think we have something for everybody. Traditional jazz fans are going to want to hear Al Shez. They're going to want to hear Nicole Henry, who we're going to announce in a couple of days, who's a brilliant singer from Miami, very traditional jazz singer in front of a big band. And we've got a lot of traditional acts like that. If you're into blues or if you're a rock and roll guy or gal, we've got JoJo Meyer and Oz Noy. And if you come to see those 2 shows, or one of those 2 shows, you're going to come away with, you're going to have a good time, you're going to hear a lot of good stuff, and I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. So,
Okay. Basically, everybody keep an eye on the Facebook page.
please.
You actually caught me off guard. I didn't even know about the high school band part. So you
Well,
actually,
we have a handful of things, and we're going to roll them out between now and next Friday.
yeah, definitely keep an eye on the Facebook page. Thank you very much for your time. I greatly appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
Hopefully the promotion we've been doing has helped out a little bit at least.
Definitely.
Cool. Well, thank you very much and enjoy the cold weather.
Okay. Thanks.